welcome. Hello. Good afternoon. My name is Abe Chavez. We'll be doing the Workforce Penn State video. And I'll be doing my video on safety glasses. All right. So imagine that you come back from lunch and you conveniently forgot your safety glasses on top of your head. And you're going to go back to nailing off some sheeting, okay? So you start nailing off, and as you're nailing off, you're using this type of nail. This particular nail clip has got plastic that holds it together. Now, it would have only taken you a second to drop your safety glasses, but you know, lunch was great, you were chit-chatting with everybody, you forgot. Then, as you're nailing off, one little piece of that clip ricochets and lands right in your eyeball. All it would have taken is a second to put your safety glasses on and you would have been able to be just fine. However, you didn't. You're taken to the emergency room and months pass. After having to wear patches like this for a while and several different doctor's visits, you find out that because the impact was the same as me taking this hammer on this toothpick and hitting this ping pong ball, which I do apologize, because this ping pong ball is actually more harder than your eyeball, that you've lost sight in that eye and that you will no longer be able to use both eyes to see. It would have just taken you a second. To prevent these types of injuries, we need to be aware on the job sites of the different hazards we're going to encounter. We also need to know what standards are we going to be looking for when buying or having safety glasses. Okay, we don't just want to have any old thing. We want to make sure that we got the right kind. And then we also need to know how to clean and maintain your safety glasses, as well as if you were to get something in your eye, what do you do? So we'll be going over some first aid as well. Every day, there are 2,000 injuries a day to the eyes. That, if you were to break it all down into an 8-hour period day, it winds up being about 250 injuries an hour. Men who are 25 to 44, we're at greatest risk. We wind up being 81% of all eye injuries in an entire year. That's huge. So what causes eye injuries? Well, just about anything that we do on a job site has a potential to cause an eye injury. Think about it. If you're using a hammer, installing drywall is dusty. If you're using power tools, if you're using a skill saw, I've seen guys, after ripping sheets of plywood, they've actually been able to take the sawdust off their face and make little balls because of the sweat. Well, if you don't have your safety glasses on, where do you think all that sawdust is not just going on your face, it's going in your eyes, okay? Anything you do on the work site has a potential to cause injury to your eye. And you don't even have to be working in a particular area. If someone's working off to the side and you're walking by and you don't have side shields on your glasses, say you have just a regular prescription glasses, they're grinding, a piece of debris, could be a piece of cement, a piece of rock, what have you, ricochets off, their tool hits you in the eye, game over. Also, if you're doing any remodeling, anytime that you have to go and work overhead, I knew a guy that he was working overhead, he was taking down lights. There was a stray wire that came and actually hit him square in the eye. He was able to keep the eye, but he wears his safety glasses all the time now. So, who sets the criteria for safety glasses? Well, it's the American National Standards Institute. They are a non-governmental agency, but they do set the criteria for safety glasses. The frames that you'll be looking for and the standards that you're looking for are called Z87 or Z87-1 plus, plus 2. There's different grades of it. But you want to look here on the inside of your frames. On these particular frames, they have it on top. But you want to look for that. That's going to let you know that yes, these glasses have met that standard. So how do they test them? With the Z87 non-prescription, what they'll do is they'll take a 1/4-inch BB and they will actually fire it at 100 miles an hour, point blank at the lens. They will also drop a weight from about 4 feet up, right on top of that lens. They're going to make sure that that lens is not going to cause you any problems as far as having your eyes safe. With these particular lenses, these are Z87 plus. These actually have to go through what they call high mass test. They take a 500-gram pointed weight and drop it from 5 feet. They will also go and shoot another 1/4-inch steel BB at 102 miles an hour, and they will shoot it from 150 feet back. And you sit there going, well, that's great, but I'm never going to be having anybody do that to me. But the kicker is you want to make sure that your glasses can withstand that kind of impact. Because if they can withstand that kind of impact, you can pretty much guarantee that your eyes are going to be safe at the end of the day. And you'll be going home with both of them. Talk about different lenses. They do have glass. They also have plastic. And they have polycarbonate. Polycarbonate is actually the one that you want to shoot for. It has less of a resistance to shatter, whereas the glass and plastic do. The kicker is with them, you need to be cautious and aware that they do scratch a little bit more easily than others. So they do sell them with a coating that is more scratch resistant. You also want to make sure that you have those side shields, because that's going to protect your eyes should anything come at them from the side. And as the ones that I use, and these are prescription, they have protection on the sides. Now, if you have, say, different glasses that don't have side protection, you can get these. These are fairly inexpensive. They're little side shields that go on the side, so as they're installed, they'll also help protect your eyes from any damage on the side. Now, with as many choices as what we have for safety glasses nowadays, and I do have some various ones up here, and I do encourage you guys after the demonstration to please come up and take a look. No problem there. But with the different styles, there is absolutely no reason why not to wear them. And, you don't have to feel like, well, I'm going to look like a jerk or whatever. No, it's not about that. It's about making sure that you can go home at the end of the day with both eyes. So then we get into fitting. You want to make sure that your safety glasses will fit properly. You want to make sure that they sit on the bridge of the nose, but not too tight against the face. You want to make sure that your heat from your face doesn't cause them to fog. You can get them with an anti-fog feature every once in a while. You want to make sure that they don't slide down, because if they can slide down, if I'm working here, well, now this area up above me is not protected. So if someone were to have any kind of projectiles, once again, now my eyes are vulnerable. And a false sense of security is worse than not wearing them at all. If you think you're safe, you might have a tendency to take a chance that you wouldn't normally take. So then we get into how do we take care of our glasses? Well, like I mentioned, polycarbonate do have more of a tendency to scratch. You want to make sure that you have, if you don't have a dedicated case for them, you use even an old sock would work, something that's going to keep them protected from scratches. You can use commercial-based cleaner, and if, a soft cloth if you have that available, that works great. Also, mild soap and water works just as well. You want to make sure that you don't dry them with your t-shirt, especially if you've been working in the heat of the day. If you're a drywaller, you already know what I mean, because you'll have a bunch of stuff on your shirt. You don't want that winding up on your safety glasses. You will not be happy. Then we get into when is it okay to take off your safety glasses. As long as there's any hazards on the job site, you want to leave them on. Don't take any chances. Just because you're walking through, you don't know what somebody else is doing. Okay? You want to make sure that if you're in a break room and there's no work going on, well, then it's pretty much a given that you're going to take them off. That's okay. Or on your way home. But if you're on the job site, things are happening, you want to leave them on. So then we get into if you had an eye injury. It does happen. If you have something like an irritant or dust, you'd want to go and wash your eye out from 15 to 20 minutes. The ANSI approved eye wash stations are best. We do have these bottles located around the training center. They're not ANSI approved, but any clean water will do in a pinch. Okay? You want to make sure that you for first aid for eyes, if they were to be cut or punctured, say as in our ping pong ball, you want to cover both eyes. And the reason we cover both eyes is because if we have one eye that is injured covered and we leave this eye open, well, as this eye turns, this one with the toothpick in it is going to turn as well. And there's sensitive nerves inside here, and we want to make sure that those stay still. So you would cover both eyes. You would not push or rub the eye if it's got something in it or a cut. You don't want to open it up. Don't pull anything that is embedded in the eye. If there's something in that eye, you leave it alone. Cover both eyes, and prompt medical attention is the key. Okay? So as you can see, you can't take advantage of our sense of sight. You have to be proactive in protecting it. You want to make sure that you use safety glasses that have a polycarbonate lens, graded Z87 or Z87 plus, Z87 1 or 2. Anything is better. It's always an upgrade up from the Z87s, although the Z87s work just fine. You want to make sure that they fit properly to make sure that they can do their job as well as ours. And just as a final example, we worked with our little ping pong ball. I also I love Halloween because we're able to go ahead and find different tools. So I found an eyeball, fake eyeball mind you. And just as a demonstration, we saw how with this one, the toothpick went right through that ping pong ball, which simulated our eye. But as you can see, I've got this toothpick, hammer once again, and now we're protected. So I'm going to use the same amount of force as I did before. Well, broke my toothpick, but my safety glasses, there's a little bit of a mark, but the eyeball is just fine, which in the end is what we really want. Does anybody have any final questions? Okay, that's great. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll get up to the shop. If anybody wanted to come in and come up to the table and take a look, I will be observing you guys to make sure that you are wearing your safety glasses out there in the shop and make sure that you are cleaning them accordingly. Alrighty, thank you very much.